Nelson, who is the Sales and Marketing Manager at Aqua. Verity is going to talk with us today about Monday's case study, and also Verity is going to share with us the response to the tasks and also information about the competition for the idea generation task with your students. Thanks for joining us, Verity. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your background and experience in tourism?
Certainly. So I've been in tourism marketing for just over 20 years now. I started out with Australia's Southwest, which is a regional tourism organisation promoting a region of Western Australia. I then moved to hotels and then finally attractions to where I am now at Aqua. Aqua is quite an interesting business to work for. It's very high volume. So for me, I'm really interested, and especially hearing from the students, as to how do I get them to Aqua. So to give you an idea, we attract just over 300,000 visitors a year. And we are looking at changing the perception of how people see Aqua. Traditionally, we were seen very much as a kiddie venue, so from that sort of toddler up to about 8 to 10 years of age. But somewhere along the line, we have lost the sort of 15 to 20, 25 year age gap, and then again in the 45 age gap. So we're really relevant if you've got little children or if you've got grandchildren, but we seem to be missing the mark for attracting that group. And so I'd be really interested to see how we can do that. I'm happy to share the things that we've done so far to attract those people back, because reality is Aqua is not just suited for children. There's some really cool stuff, and we have some amazing oceans out here. So we're really wanting to educate to a degree and encourage people and engage people to see what we actually have here. And from a conservation point of view as well, this is what we're protecting. This is what we need to nurture in the future for our oceans.
And you do quite a lot of interaction for the learning as well, don't you, with the foundation?
Yeah, so we've got an Aqua Foundation as well. So that's our not-for-profit arm. We are well known for our turtle rehabilitation. So we work in conjunction with Perth Zoo, with the veterinary clinic there. Once the turtles are healthy, they then come to us and we literally teach them how to swim again. A lot of the turtles are impacted by the plastics, fishing line as well. So we have quite a few turtles that are amputees and having to teach them how to swim with just the 3 fins instead of the 4. So the Aqua Foundation also does a lot of beach cleanups here. So we get the public together, the community and the schools. And it's quite confronting, to be honest, the amount of rubbish that is still around our coast and our beaches and the damage that it does to our marine life. So we do look at engaging the community at every opportunity to work with us as a partner. We are not just about making money, but engaging people to understand the importance of what our oceans represent to the environment.
Excellent. So moving on to the tasks, the first task was to consider the different ways that 15 to 25 and 45 to 65 age groups engage with learning and how they learn. And when we think of education, we think of it being quite a formal process, but I would imagine that at different age groups, learning can be achieved in so many different ways.
Most definitely. And what we've seen at the moment is, say, our toddlers that we have coming through, they're more sensory based. So we do a lot of sensory play here, and that ties into the marine education. So for example, we do a messy play. And that is literally kids getting into tubs of slime and learning the feel of it and playing with it. But that's relative because fish cover themselves in slime as a protection barrier. So we're able to marry up the sensory play with those ocean facts as well. As we progress through to the older years, to the primary school years, obviously for them, it's all connected with the curriculum and with the STEM program. So we work in conjunction with the schools to create a program where they can answer those questions, whether it's through maths or science. We have worksheets that they can come to the aquarium and answer as they go around. So they're not just seeing the information that's on the exhibit, but also learning more from that side of it, of how we grow with the corals. We have ocean guides on staff, so they're all marine biologists as well. So they talk to the students and answer those questions, because everybody's questions and everyone's learning is very, very different. So that's one of our challenges, is how do we have quite a fluid approach to education to suit everyone's levels and needs. Then we sort of move up into the adults, and of course their requirement or their need for level of information is very different again. So we've taken a little bit of a different approach with adults of trying to get them back into AQWA. So we do use the food and wine to get them in. So we'll run a host of adults only nights where there is only children, but they can enjoy a meal, a leisurely drink as they move through the aquarium. And we found that that's quite popular with the adults, and they're able to absorb and engage with the exhibits and the signage that we have there to learn.
Excellent. And in terms of ideas, you mentioned obviously the food and the wine. What other ideas have AQWA used already to entice these age groups, so that the 15 to 25 and the 45 to 65-year-olds, to give them those value-added experiences? Because you did mention, obviously, that you are one of the more expensive tourism destinations, but it's about value, isn't it? It's not always about discounted prices. It's about giving them those amazing experiences.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And I think today that consumers or any visitors or any families looking to spend their money, they're wanting something that's unusual. You can, and I quite often use the example, you can go to a restaurant any day of the week, and you sit at a table, it's just in a different facility or venue. So we have looked at ways of being a little bit left of centre. So one of those for the adults is we do a dine beneath the sea. So we have a 100-metre long tunnel, and you can literally have a 3-course fine dining experience with the sharks and the large rays and the turtles swimming overhead. So that's been a very, very popular approach. Again, it's that absorption of information, that when they're there, they're asking questions, they're reading the signage in a really relaxed atmosphere. We also do, for the slightly older age group, is the shark sleepovers. So you can actually come and sleep in the aquarium. You have exclusive use, so no one else is there, but you get to do behind the scene tours, animal feeds, and a whole heap of activities. You literally bring a sleeping bag and you sleep in the tunnel, again surrounded by the sharks and the rays and the turtles. So it's about making a point of difference. For us, a challenge is being ahead of what everybody else is doing. As soon as an idea becomes mainstream, your competition increases. So we are always looking for really unique, fresh ideas that no one has ever done before. And we find that makes it easier for visitors to make that choice to come and spend their money with us. We don't tend to discount because we believe that there is a lot of things we can add value to someone's experience. Like that with the toddlers, we provide free activities. We have mermaids in the summer, so you can literally see a mermaid swimming in the tank and have a photo with a mermaid. So it's those value adds that it takes it from a normal experience to something extraordinary.
Yeah, and that's so important, isn't it? Because there's so much competition for your time as well, and you have to make sure that experience is one that's going to be memorable, engaging, and that they're going to walk away and feel that was great. We really enjoyed that.
Most definitely, and I think competition's changed. Going back 10, 15, 20 years ago, there wasn't as much competition. Our competition would have been another aquarium or another attraction. For us now, our competition is the shopping centres, because you've got the microbreweries, the food courts, they're doing entertainment, they're wanting to keep people there for the whole day. So our competition is not just other attractions, but can be things like shopping centres. Mini golf is another one. Any attraction is where that they're going to go and spend their money, other than with us. So then, of course, you add the digital component to it. People can search around the world from their living rooms. So it means that you can literally search and be aware and be across of everything that's to offer. Before it was an ad in a newspaper, or if you lived locally, people are now able to source and plan what they're doing, and get a vast array of information. So for us, having something that unique and stands out from the crowds, that when they are online looking, that we need to create products and value adds that are so unique that it's attention grabbing, because it's really competitive in the attraction space and leisure space.
And we'll come to the competition at the end of the tasks, and we can put that out and hopefully get some great ideas in as well, which will be brilliant. So our third task was, how can Aqua interact with schools to create more interactive STEM education? So not simply attracting those students that definitely want to be marine biologists, but actually making it engaging and interactive across the whole curriculum.
Yeah, so we'd be really interested to see what kids are wanting to see from us. What can we do to make it interactive for you? I'm not a marine biologist and I don't have a marine biology background, but some of the stuff I see is pretty cool. It is really cool that even that I didn't know was around until I came into this role. So that is our challenge, of tapping into that mindset of students and for education. And it's not just about the sciences, as you say. There's a lot to do with the sales and marketing side of it. And that in itself is actually a really cool pathway. Throughout my career, it's been interesting, the experiences that I've been able to have. I don't just sit in an office all day on a computer screen. I am out and about, and especially with the animals, even from a sales and marketing function, it's about content. What messaging I'm able to put out to our visitors. And in that process, I'm learning some really cool things as well and doing some really cool things. So for us, it's not just about the sciences. There is so much more to it for students to learn.
Yeah, it's a whole business organization with so many functions. And I would imagine that STEM the science, the technology, the engineering and the math must come into that quite a lot.
Most definitely. So we're looking at the moment of developing a concept of working with marine engineering students to help us develop some concepts for the exhibits to make each exhibit more interactive. At the moment, you sort of come in and you can look at an exhibit and it's quite static, but we want people to be involved. We want it to be hands-on. So we can work with a range of disciplines, whether it's through engineering, whether it's through technologies, looking at digital platforms that we can use. So it certainly has a whole array. It's not just about the marine life.
Awesome. And the final question was, how can Aqua change the perception to one that promotes conservation? Because obviously, like you said about the internet, it brings up so much information, but some of that often creates some enormous misconceptions about what an aquarium is achieving and what it's actually doing, its purpose. And how we promote the conservation, the rehabilitation and the work to support the marine life. What work has Aqua done so far to achieve that?
Look, it's been really difficult for us because we're coming off a history, or historically, where zoos and aquariums have been there to make money. And I'll be honest in that they've been private enterprises. There has been a massive shift over the last 15 years to conservation and awareness and driving that awareness. But there are still some of those hangovers that we are a private business and we are for profit, which we are, but we're also here for the animals. We very much work off the ethos that if people can't see what we are protecting and what we are nurturing, they can't appreciate that. So through the education program, all we know is that the next Minister for Environment could be coming through our doors in year 5 or year 6. But when they get to those positions of being older and having careers and being able to make some decisions, or being a role that those decisions are going to impact our environment, we are hoping that through their experience with us and engagement and awe of our oceans, that education will be taken through for the rest of their lives and influence their decision making in the process. So we did develop Aqua Foundation, as I mentioned before. We're looking at supporting and encouraging students through funding opportunities that we can explore new and unique ideas for that is going to help our futures and help our environment and protect our marine life. Plastics is a massive issue, pollution is a massive issue, but also fishing, making sure there's sustainable and responsible fishing practices. So we are really keen to get that messaging out to ensure people that we are not here just to make money, but we are here to nurture and engage those decision makers in the future to be able to make the right and informed decisions around for the benefit of our oceans. We do a lot of community work, so we do attend community festivals. Our team will go out and just sometimes having that conversation with people about what we do is really great at dispelling some of those misconceptions. When people understand that we are at the forefront of innovation and rehabilitation and research and beach cleanups, but getting that message out to the broader audience and changing those perceptions can prove difficult, because we are a for-profit, but we are pouring a lot of our money into the other side, which is that rehabilitation and the environmental work as well.
So it's definitely a tough job to change those mindsets.
Most definitely. And whilst we can do that on site, so we can have signage up, it is still very difficult to get people to read signage. Funnily enough, you can put as much signage up, but I think people learn better through engagement. But that can be a very slow process for us. We do have limited resources and we can only do so much. So we're looking at really pinpointing and honing in what can be the most effective and the strongest messaging that we can get across for that. Whilst we have the foundation, there are still limited resources in that. So we're looking at supporting those projects that are going to have the greatest impact for the environment, but also for the students and their education as well, in developing those new ideas. As I say, we've got the community events, the Aqua Foundation. People can opt to donate when they purchase a ticket with us. And we also have to sort of get that messaging out to the corporate industry. We do have corporate memberships that has a number of benefits, and part of that corporate membership is a $500 donation to the Aqua Foundation. So businesses are also able to feel that we are not just here to bring the family down and have a great time, which we are, but that companies are also able to contribute to that environmental work that we do as well.
That's excellent. It's so much valuable work that's going on in the background. And this leads me now to the competition. So students can, obviously, if the trainers watching this can organise an activity with your students to focus on task 2, 3 and 4, and obviously task 1 in your preparation. So to think about what ideas can Aqua use to entice the age groups of 15 to 25 and 45 to 65 to enable them to engage with Aqua, but also to generate that learning and understand the conservation, rehabilitation and work to support the marine life. And obviously within that, any ideas to interact and promote STEM education as well as a part of that. So if you'd like to submit your ideas to Verity at Aqua, and Verity, you'll provide us with your email address that we'll share that. Are you happy for that?
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. So share your, send your ideas by email with attachments to Verity by the end of October in 2020. And the students, the ideas that are decided as feasible to take forward, Verity will invite you for a Zoom call with your students to discuss the best way to implement those ideas. And any ideas that go through to being implemented, students will be invited to attend Aqua and invited to go to Aqua to watch and see those ideas in action. Did you want to add any more, Verity?
Look, to be honest, I'm actually really excited about this, of being able to tap into what you guys think, what the students think. I'm past that age, obviously, so I'm really excited to see what the students can come up with. There is no idea that is too far left of field. We are happy to look at even the most, it might seem far out idea, but if that is what is attracting you guys, we're more than happy to look at it. So there is no such thing as a wrong answer in any of this. And a lot of the work we do, it can start off with an idea and then grow and change and morph as we explore that. So I'm really excited about being able to brainstorm and see where the students are at.
Excellent. So I will share Verity's email. So please do send your ideas, work with your students. It's a great opportunity to also include this activity to address a number of other units of competency as well, in terms of innovation, working effectively with others, and bringing some of those digital technologies into your into this activity as well. So a great way to do that. So thanks so much, Verity, for your time today.
My pleasure.
It's really engaging, not only from the perspective of the sales and marketing function, but also all of that background information to what Aqua is doing and what you're trying to achieve. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Bye then. Thank you.